Okay, so for the next part of our modules, this is about the nature and scope of managerial economics. Okay, so here we define the term managerial economics. So when we say this subject or term, this refers to a stream of management studies which emphasizes solving business problems and decision making, where we apply the theories and principles of micro and macroeconomics. So here we will be dealing also with the organization's internal um, issued by use or internal issues by using various economic theories. So basically, managerial economics is focused on a particular organization where we try to solve the problem by using the theories and principles under micro and macro economics. So we will apply these principles, techniques, tools, and the study, okay, of the economics for a particular organization and solving their problems. Okay, so basically in an organization, especially in a business enterprise, they normally encounter a lot of problems, okay, from production, from securing a capital, to the employees and the like. So there are small and complicated problems that needs to be solved where economics will help, okay, in addressing and looking for answers, okay, for those problems that they face. So this is how managerial economics is being used. Okay, that's why in this case, basically, if we look into the definition, so we focus on a particular organization. So basically, it will fall under microeconomics. However, since the organization is also part of the society, so it operates within a particular country or region. So meaning they are also part of a larger portion of the society, although they may be considered as an individual or single unit. Okay, that's why in this case we also include that under the macroeconomics analysis. Okay, so again, the main purpose is to solve business problems for decision-making purposes. Okay, where we applied economic concepts of micro and macroeconomics. Okay, so here for the nature and scope of managerial economics. So the first is managerial economics is considered as an art and science because in this case, when we say art, meaning to say you can solve the problem in so many ways, okay, depending on how you analyze and provide solutions. Okay, the important thing is that we use the concepts, okay, that is given or provided. Okay, managerial economics is considered to be a science because we are following certain steps. Like for example, in solving a problem or business problem, we may use a formula or certain chronological steps in order for us to address a particular concern. Okay, the next is managerial economics, as I discussed earlier, is also considering the micro and macro economics. Okay, so we already explained or discussed these concepts earlier. So the next is managerial economics is considered to be multidisciplinary because again, aside from the use of the principles basically of economics, we can also use other concepts and principles, okay, and apply it to help us solve the business problem. So it will help us, okay, in solving the problems or the business problems easily because we can take other forms of information or data, okay, from other sources aside from economics itself. Okay, the next is managerial economics is said to be prescriptive or part of the normative discipline because in this case, managerial economics aims to achieve achieve a particular solution on the business problem, and it also deals with the situations or problems by implementing corrective measures. Okay, so that's why in here when we say prescriptive, we normally provide solution or choices or options, okay, where the management can use um, to process, okay, the particular case so that they will uh, have this outcome or expectations of outcomes or results that they want. Okay, so the next is managerial economics is said to be management oriented, of course, since we are dealing with business problems. Okay, so basically it's more of management oriented subject matter. And the last is it is or managerial economics is said to be pragmatic because in this case managerial economics is a practical and logical approach of solving business problem, okay, towards day-to-day business problems. So that's why, okay, when I say pragmatic, by the way, this referred to a logical manner or order in this case of solving business problems. Okay, so for the principles of managerial economics, so there are different aspects that we consider. So based on this illustrations, we have classified these concepts into three major classifications. So we have first the principles of how people make decisions. The second is the principles of how people interact. And the third is the principles of how economy works as a whole. Okay, so for the first part of the or classification under how people make decisions. So here, people face trade-off. Okay, so an example of this is the trade-off between cost and benefit, okay, that we've discussed earlier. Okay, so of course, here, normally, if we want to spend something, we want to get a benefit, okay, or something that will add value to our self or to the economy or to our own organization. So there is a trade-off, meaning to say, if you will give something, you will have to get something also in return. Okay, so the next is opportunity cost. Okay, when we say opportunity cost, this is the lost opportunity. Okay, for example, we have two choices. Okay, so number one is we will purchase a new equipment. The other choice is we will have to make repairs for our existing equipment, which is old already and with less efficiency. So in this case, for example, if we will choose to purchase a new equipment, so in that choice, we will have to spend a lot because we will purchase a new equipment. Okay, so here the benefit that we get from using the old equipment, like for example savings, is considered to be a lost opportunity on our part because in this case we will not have any savings anymore because we have to spend for buying or purchasing the new equipment. Okay, so opportunity cost is the lost opportunity or benefit because you did not choose that other option or choosing or because you choose another option. Okay, so the next is rational people think at the margin. So again, this is the same concept with that of the cost and benefit because we always have this expectation or state of mind where we always have to get more than we spend. Okay, so we always wanted to um, have a profit or maximize the profit while minimizing the cost. Okay, so the next is people respond to incentives. So this is what we are actually referring to in the key concepts in the first video lecture. So here, people will respond to the rewards. So meaning to say, if you will give your subordinates rewards or incentives, they will do their task efficiently and effectively. Okay, so that is for the first part. So the second classification is on the principles of how people interact. So trade can make everyone better off. So of course, in this case, trading is normally done because one party wants or needs something that is present in the other party, and the same thing also in that other party will they what they want and need is also in the other person. Okay, so that's why they trade. Okay, so it makes everyone better off. So for example, if you are the seller, it makes you better because you will get proceeds and profit margin, and on the part of the consumers, you will have uh, to satisfy your needs and wants. Okay, so it makes everyone better off depending on their perspective. So the next is markets are usually a good way to organize economic activity. Of course, so this is where our uh, financial market or whatever market it may be. Okay, so by the way, in your financial market subject, you will learn that there are different types of markets. Okay, so this is not just a supermarket or wet market. Okay, so here, basically, a particular market will be a catalyst for the uh, economic activity, okay, in the whole economy or society. So they may be considered as small, but they activate or they serve as the catalyst, okay, for the whole economy. So the next thing is government can sometimes improve market outcomes. So this is actually the reason why the government always have the control and rules and regulations. Okay, that's why businesses, even practitioners, are um, they need to be registered in the different government agencies so that before they will be able to start operating. Okay, because in this case, the government always wants to control. Okay, but uh, in a in an optimistic way. Okay, but sometimes it seems that they are um, controlling the market, for example, or the situation in their interest and not of the interest of the public. But of course, in principle, it should be based on the interest of the general public. Okay, so that's why the typical example of this is the DTI regulates the uh, selling price of particular good or service so that the seller will not have the freedom of selling it at higher prices. Okay, so that is an example. Okay, so the last classification under the principles of how economy works as a whole is, okay, the first, a country's standard of living depends on its ability to produce goods and services. Okay, correct. Because in this case, if you will learn about the economic development, okay, of a particular country, you will learn there that, or if you will observe, try to observe the countries or the rich countries, they have more production, or they have a lot of production and goods or services, okay, that is being offered not only in their country but also in the whole world or in other countries as well. Okay, so here meaning to say they are rich in resources, labor, and capital. Okay, so therefore, if that is present in a particular country, then the standard of living also of the people living there will also high or will also become higher. Okay, so it follows. So the next is prices rise when the government prints too much money. Okay, so this concept, you will learn this under financial management, where um, for example, in the Philippines, do you know about BSP, Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas? So they are the ones who are given the authority to print money. But before printing, of course, they have to seek the approval of the president. Okay, because they cannot print money anytime they want. This is through a fiscal policy. Okay, so in this case, if they will print too much money, so there are a lot of money present and circulating in the economy. Meaning to say, all of us have a lot of money. So meaning to say, we can demand more, we can afford to buy more. However, because of the limited resources and the limited supply, so what the consumer will do is they will increase the prices to control the demand. Okay, so you will learn more of this in our module under supply and demand. So that's the reason why if there are a lot of money that is present and circulating in the market, the prices will go higher. Okay, because the reason is our demand will become higher because we can afford more, we can buy more, but there are less supply. Okay, so the next is society faces a short-run trade-off. So sometimes there are, for example, trade-off between cost and benefit, or for example, we can take the prices. Okay, there will be times where prices will become higher for a short period of time because probably of, for example, in under the current situation now under the pandemic. So there might be cases where some commodities, especially medicine, okay, because of the less supply, so they or the producer can or the seller can charge higher, okay, because again there are lesser produce, lesser amount of supply that is present in the market. Okay, but again, after a certain period of time, if this will now, or the production will now comes to equilibrium, so the prices will now start to slope downward. Okay, so that's how it works. Okay, and in this case, the society will face a short-run trade-off between inflation and underemployment. So, inflation means higher prices of goods and services. Okay, so normally inflation is the result of this one, where the government prints too much money, so there are more circulation, more money that is circulating in the market. So when the prices are getting high, which is more than 100% of its original price, that is considered already as inflation. Okay, so here, if in the case where inflation, where the prices goes higher and there are unemployment, so there are a lot of the sector in the society where they cannot afford to buy, okay, even the most the essential goods like food and medicine, clothing, or even for their home. Okay, so that's how this trade-off comes in. Okay, so that's for the principles of managerial economics. Okay, and the last is the scope of managerial economics. So we have the following for micro. So again, these concepts, we will encounter this as we go along. So we'll just have to run through over, okay, these concepts. So for the microeconomics, so this is applied to operational issues, meaning to say day-to-day business operation and business problems. So it will include theory of demand, production and decisions, pricing, analysis of market structure, and management, as well as capital and investment decisions. So all of these are part of the operational issues that is being faced day to day by a particular business enterprise or organization. And for the macro economics, so we have the economic environment, social environment, and political environment, which are considered to be a larger portion of the economy. So that will be the second part of our video lecture for module number 1.